I ask for the truth on behalf of Shannon Repia concerning family matters, relationship with the family. Will things get better? What can be done? We ask for guidance and insight into this matter, and I ask this in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always. And we just place the cards to the side. I'll deal out 3 cards for you, Shannon, for the past, the present and the future. The past is related to the recent past. This is about a moon phase behind, so it's a new moon now, just gone, isn't it? So it'll be between now and the next new moon, as you would say. The next card, of course, is Shannon right now. Actually, I've just made a mistake. That's not till the next new moon. It's between now and the last new moon. That was just spot the deliberate mistake. Between now and the last new moon, about the past 3 or 4 weeks or so, and this is Shannon right now. We know where that is, don't we? And now and the next new moon is, of course, the next card, which is the immediate future, and that's where things are going to happen for the foreseeable future, isn't it, really? So we go back to the recent past. About 3 or 4 weeks or so ago, between now and the last new moon. What was going on there? What was happening? Of course, the meaning of this card, how we interpret this card, is related to that, and it's of course to do with the recent past. So it's Shannon and her recent past concerning family matters. So that's how we can seek guidance, insight for that, can't we? So we'll just flip that card nice and slow there, not to disturb the energy too much. And as you can see, you've got the Emperor. And the Emperor is often known as the master of his own destiny. In this deck, of course, like every tarot deck, the Emperor is a member of the major arcana. There are two decks in the tarot deck, as you know. The major arcana and the minor arcana. The first 22 cards are the first major arcana, and then the minor arcana, or I call them the elemental cards, air, fire, water, earth, or whatever. They're the 56 minor arcana. The 56 minor arcana are 4 cavaliers or 4 knights taken away, and you're left with the 52, aren't you, the playing cards. And of course the joker in the pack is the fool from the major arcana. But of course, like I say, if you knew what you were playing with, you wouldn't play with it really. But then again, back to this, a major arcana card, of course, or a major arcana energy in this particular case, indicates that something major happened. So, as you could say, so far, a major situation happened in your recent past. Now, major energies, major arcana energies, indicate that you were unable to change anything. You didn't have power to change it. It was a permanent thing. It was like you had no power over it in some respects. We've always got power over the future in some respects as well, but nevertheless you had no power over this. It was like a permanent thing. Of course, he mentioned how the Emperor is master of his own destiny. He also is somebody who's got supremacy over a situation, isn't he? In that regard, and you could say that either you or some I would say, I was thinking of a male figure, I don't know, but certainly a male figure or whatever has been some kind of overlord in some situation or other. In some tarot decks, of course, like the Crow deck that I normally use, the Crow's Magic Tarot there that I normally use, that depicts an owl, which of course symbolises your ancestral spirit guides, bringing signs and omens. In this case would be from the past, wouldn't it? But of course, paying attention to the signs, we would just take a look at this. We're using the Aleister Crowley Thoth Tarot here, and just taking a look at the card in general, just at a glance, you can see the sort of orange yellow of the gut chakra, as if something has been felt in the gut, something has been felt down there, you know. I don't know what's happened here, Shannon, at all, but I'm allowed to say I don't know, aren't I? But let's say I don't know what's happened here, but nevertheless, it's as if why am I sort of thinking somebody's trying to, I don't know about point scoring, but somebody's trying to gain either control of, or somebody's trying to, I wouldn't go so far as saying domineering or anything like that, but certainly somebody's trying to get the upper hand, either be like the last word or be it something that would benefit them in some way, maybe like say for example somebody's last will and testament, and they wanted to make sure that they were in there, or they had the most share out of it or something. Why I'm thinking of what I said that, I don't know. I was, of course, using that as an example. Shannon. But of course, we don't know, do we? To some degree. But it's this sort of thing. Like I say, I don't know about point scoring in the sense of arguing till you sort of thick and thin, black and blue, or whatever you want to call it, until that. But either way, I'm sort of getting that sort of thing where you're feeling it in the gut. I sort of feel as though, yeah, I'm just going by what I feel as opposed to not so much by what the cards or this card is saying, but by what I feel from it, given your situation and linking your situation. What do you do about this family issue? You say you give up, you just don't know, as if but squabbling and fighting and things like that going on, but I don't know. I thought it may, the only reason I said over, it may be like over money, and it sounds like a will and testament or anything like that, or just money in general, is because it's the Emperor, and the Emperor usually represents like, you know, the law or master of one's own destiny, or money or wealth, or of course just somebody who's got control over everything, like as if the head of the family or something like that maybe has got control over everything and is not giving way to others, or in this case because it's the recent past, has not been giving way, has not been playing the game properly, or has not been fair. But nevertheless, the Emperor does represent fairness, of course. Nevertheless, he's an Emperor, and he's got to be fair. But I just got a funny feeling as though I'm reading this, why I'm reading it in the negative. It's because I locked onto the gut chakra, and that you're feeling something in the gut. You're feeling something there, you know, sort of in your gut, and the yellow of you just below the heart there, and it's that sort of thing there, just above the solar plexus and below the heart, and you're feeling it there. It's just, oh God, not again, or something like that, you know. But it's somebody who's got control, and that's all I'm getting from it. I'm just trying to sort of look at it to see. The Emperor sort of looks to the side. He's looking back into the past, maybe. Is he looking back into the past? I don't know. I certainly, there's a lot of concentration. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the one who's in control is looking. Well, I'm sort of thinking he's looking back in the past, and he's trying to remind everybody about what happened, and he's holding a grudge or something like that. I don't know. Could be that. Given us, just basically on the grounds of what you said, you give up and you don't know what to do about the family problem. I'm trying to think what the problem might be, and if it's somebody who's in control, then it could be that. We have to feed off you a little bit, so we know how to get guidance and insight, in the sense of if you need help, of course you need to know what you need help with, and saying so does help. I'm going to just pull out this. We're here to help, by the way. That's what we're here for. I just want to pull out this next card now, which of course is you right now. We've worked out that the Emperor there is you, or your situation that you have not much control over, because somebody else is controlling it instead. I say a male figure, but it could have been a female figure with the Emperor's sort of characteristics. It could have been just somebody with supremacy, the head of the family or something like that, maybe. But you had no control over that. Let's see what the next card is, which is the present. I want to just bring that round. We'll just flip it over now, nice and slowly, not to disturb the energy or anything like that, and we'll just see what that's all about. Another major arcana card, the Hanged Man. Again, right now you've got no power over what's going on, just like you didn't then. You haven't now, but in this particular scenario, you're having to make sacrifices in some way, or a sacrifice. The hangman, of course, can represent transcendence, just moving up to another level. Not so much. I mean, when we talk about going up into heaven, we're not going up into the sky. There's no white bearded old man, you know, in the sky or anything. Up, when we go up to heaven, we're going up, and like when you're at school, you go up to the next grade or whatever. And this is a similar sort of thing, up to the next level. That's what the hangman can represent, but mainly sacrifice. In a lot of traditional tarot decks, you've got the hangman who's hanging between two trees, and because his feet are tied, I always say, because your feet right now are tied, there's foliage that grows at the earthly effect. Usually every tarot card is designed with a triangle and a square. The triangle of spirit, and then the square of matter. The triangle being the spirit or the essence of the card, whatever, and then the square or the matter, the earthly effect. And with the earthly effect on a lot of the hangman cards, you got like foliage. The hangman's head is sort of half hanging, he's sort of half supporting his body, in the sense he's not fully hanging, but he's not fully down. So but nevertheless it's like as if he's got to sort of try and hold himself up in some way, and his face is contorted, and of course he's on foliage that's growing all around him, as if it's like a circumstances or situations that are taking place, are growing or taking hold, and he's got no control over it. And this is a bit like you right now, in the sense you've got no control over what's going on. Your feet are tied. You could say you're preoccupied, or you've got to do a sacrifice, in the sense you've got to be doing something else, and you can't fully focus or concentrate on what maybe you feel you should be doing, because of this person who's in control. You feel maybe you are enslaved to that person, or that person won't give way, so he or she or whoever that emperor, whoever the emperor represents, has supremacy over the situation. And of course your feet are tied, and of course circumstances grow around you, and you've got no control over it. You feel as helpless, because that's what the hangman is, isn't he? Really, he's helpless. He's hanging there. Yes, there's an opportunity to evolve in some way, but nevertheless, transcendence may be an opportunity to search within yourself for answers. Maybe, I don't know. It's getting a bit deep for me. I should have used the other tarot deck, but I'm using Crowley, so hard luck. Let's now see what's going on for you there, Shannon, for your immediate future. I'll just let me whistle with what's left of this cold coffee, or well, it was warm coffee, but it's gone bloody cold, but who cares? I prefer it cold, actually. We'll grab this card here, and we'll pull that out, and we'll just bring it round there, and we'll flip the card nice and slow to see what is potentially around the corner. Oh, it's not a major arcana card, it's a minor arcana card. And that is the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups. The Lord of Satiety. Now, isn't this a strange turn up for the books? Pure joy, effectively, or a reason to celebrate. Actually, it can sort of mean that one will be melding with others, one will be blending in with others. Literally with the family, to some degree. Maybe what I'm sort of getting as though there might be a social gathering for the family or whatever, a joyous occasion, maybe like a christening, a wedding, or something of that nature, or even maybe not so much a joyous occasion if we said a funeral, but just an opportunity where the family all get together. Not a funeral, because it's satiety, isn't it? So it's joy, isn't it, in that regard. Of course, the 9 is the wish card, and of course the 10 is the peak. Well, 9 is the peak, really, isn't it? But in this particular case, of course, it's cups that are in the shape of the Kabbalah there, the tree of life. Nevertheless, of course, with the tree of life, you still have the veil of the abyss and all that sort of thing going on. But regardless of whoever it was trying to gain supremacy, maybe it was you. Maybe you're the one who's got control or something, and nobody's towing the line, and you're basically brassed off about it in some regard, and you're having to make the sacrifice because they're not towing the line. Maybe it could be you. I don't know, but I'm not sort of feeling that. I'm sort of getting as though it's somebody else who's got control over over others, and you give up in the sense of what's wrong with my family, I give up. But by saying that, what's wrong with my family, that, or implying that, to paraphrase, what's wrong with my family, what's going on, I just give up, could imply that I mean, of course, you just put, my name is Shannon, anything from my big family, will things get better, what needs to be done, I give up, will things get better, so of course things aren't doing well at the moment. Will things get better, of course, is that somebody else in control and making life hell for everybody else, you included, and you're having to just make the sacrifice and put yourself out because somebody else isn't pulling the weight? Or is it you who's got control, and what's wrong with my family, what must I do, in the sense that you've lost control? You had control, and now you're having to make sacrifices, you're having to evolve, and you're having to, your feet are tied, and that's it, you've lost control in some respects, because the rest of the family aren't taking the line and doing what you tell them. I don't know, are you the head of the family, or is this could be both ways, but I'm getting it's that sort of thing that's going on, be it if you're not getting your own way, or be it if somebody else is making everybody else suffer. Because if somebody else is making everybody else suffer, or if it's you that's not getting your own way, you not getting your own way, are you making everybody else suffer? I don't know. But I'm getting it's that, if it's you that's the guilty party, in the sense of making everybody suffer, or somebody else, either way, that's what I'm sort of getting from it. I don't know why. But this satiety that suddenly turns up right now, or between now and the next new moon, that was between the last new moon and this new moon, and between now and the next new moon, there's satiety, there's joy, there's a reason to get together with the family, and maybe discuss it and come to some agreement, come to some diplomatic agreement, maybe. If it means you've got to, if you're the one, in the sense, I mean, in a lot of problems, everybody claims to be the victim. If it's family disputes, neighbourhood disputes, or whatever, everybody claims to be the victim, don't they? If you are genuinely the victim, then maybe you can come to some agreement at that time, or at a time of when the next family gathering is. Or, of course, you could organise a family gathering. Maybe if you're asking what to do, remember, you're asking what to do. And if this is saying what to do, I don't usually try and give guidance as such through the tarot. It's more for insight and the guidance. You decide what you want to do. But if there was guidance in there, Spirit would be sort of asking you, or saying to you, bring about this, in the sense of bring about a family gathering, organise a social event for the whole family, like a party, or just a gathering, a housewarming, or just something, make up some excuse to see who comes and who doesn't, or well, not to see who comes and who doesn't, but certainly you could put out invitations and just see, because if there is somebody who is bad, if there is somebody who genuinely is bad, you can either give them a conscience if they've got one, or you can make them appear to be the odd one out, because everybody else comes to the party and they're the ones who stay away. And the ones who stay away, of course, are the ones who are being awkward. But nevertheless, of course, if this is sort of depicting that you will receive an invite and you refuse to go because of, or whatever, I don't know. If you're the one in control, and you're the one who's not getting your own way and making it hell for everybody else, and you organise you organise a family get together and nobody turns up because they don't want anything to do with you. What do you do about it? How do I control this? I mean, are you asking the question, what, you know, what happens about your family? Are you, when you ask the question, of course, I don't fully know, but when you ask anything from my big family, will things get better? What needs to be done? Is that what do I need to do to control them or bring them all in line, or is that what needs to be done to stop to heal the rift? If it's about healing, then of course a family get together. Naturally, that would make sense, regardless of who is to blame or who is responsible for it or whatever. If it's you, them, or whoever it is, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, by getting a social event together, the Spirit is saying here, by organising a social event, if you hear of one that somebody decides to take, don't be surprised if somebody does decide to invite the rest of the family round to their house, or they hire a room somewhere in a social place or whatever, so you can all have a big party or something to try and heal the rift. Although it might be somebody's birthday or somebody's wedding anniversary or whatever it is, they might use it as an excuse to try and heal the family rift. Or you could deliberately set one up yourself. This could be guidance to you, in the sense of it could be guidance to you to say, create some sort of situation where you've got all the family together, organise a party, let's say, for example. Or it could be depicting and foretelling that somebody will organise a party and you will just be one who receives the invite. Either way, this seems to be the outcome of you making a sacrifice. Everybody else is going to make sacrifice as well. I would assume everybody else on the receiving end will be in a similar sort of position. They've got no control over what goes on. Their feet are tied also, maybe. And whoever's in control has got you all by the short and curlies. I don't know, but this is what I'm sort of getting from it. This is what what it is I'm getting. I could be totally wrong, but if Spirit is right, then Spirit is either foretelling of a family get together very soon between now and the next new moon, or it is guidance and it's advising you to organise one yourself. And then that will be fulfilled, that will be foretelling the future, because you will help it along. Remember, it's a minor arcana card, and with a minor arcana card you have power to change it. You don't have power to change what's happened in the past, of course, regardless. Well, in the past you did have no power over whatever or whoever was controlling things. Whoever had the supremacy of the situation. You had no power over the overlord. You've got no power over what's happening now, in the sense of you're having to make the sacrifices, your feet are tied, and of course the foliage grows around you. Nevertheless, you've got an opportunity to evolve. You've got an opportunity to transcend and rise above this. Transcend, notice, to rise above this in the sense of say, I'm better than this. I'm better than this. I can transcend. I can rise above this. I'm not lowering myself or allowing myself to go down to their level. I'm better than that, and I can rise above it. I can transcend above it, and by that you can then bring this about. The satiety, bring about a joyous occasion, or maybe if you've got your own wedding anniversary or something, or a birthday, you can probably make a bit more of it than you would normally, make a bigger fuss out of it than you'd normally do, just as an excuse to pull the family together or something in some order, just to say, you know, so you've got like a get together where everybody thinks probably it's not that bad after all. We're all here, we're all singing and dancing, and we're all getting on, we're all having a drink together, we're all having a joke and a laugh together, and we're not trying to kill one another. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the silence that's been doing it, but maybe a get together will heal that problem. But remember, of course, it's a minor arcana card, and it's a sort of double whammy, isn't it? In the sense that you've got power to change it by organising the very thing that it's foretelling. So if you don't do it, somebody else will. But don't leave it to somebody else. If you feel that is advising you to do that, because at the end of the day, if nobody turns up, or the person you feel is the one in the wrong doesn't turn up, you can say, well, at least I tried. What do I do now? Maybe you have tried everything, but maybe you can say, at least I've tried. I've done my bit. I can't make you come along. I can't force you to see our way of thinking, or whatever's gone on. I've got a funny feeling it's over money, though. I don't know why, but maybe because of the Emperor there, that sort of locks onto that. Maybe I'm just hanging on to that, I don't know. But there's a strange thing going on here, in the sense of the double whammy is you've got power to control it, you've got power to bring it about, but it will come about anyway. But you have the power to make it as though it's you, or you have the power to make that you in control. So although you've got no control now, and although somebody else had control over you and you've still got no control now, you can rise above it now, go on to the higher level and rise above it and better yourself, if you know what I mean. And you can control it by bringing about a social event where the family all blend and meld together, and you can be the one that makes that card will be true, in the sense, yes, somebody else will do, but don't leave it to somebody else. You can be the one who initiates it, and when things heal, maybe you've been blamed for something, maybe you're the reason why. I mean, we have to be realistic about this. Maybe you're the reason why the family is split, or arguing and trying to kill one another. I don't know. Maybe you're the reason why there's a slow motion car crash going on with the family. I don't know. Maybe it's something you've done and you need forgiveness. How long is this going to go on? Will they ever forgive, or whatever? I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to be realistic with you, Shannon. That's all I'm trying to be, in the sense of you have power to change it by literally helping that energy there of that minor arcana. It's a minor arcana energy. You're being given an opportunity between now and the next new moon to sort this out by organising a family get together, literally, in the sense of blending and melding. That's what satiety is. It's joy, a joyous occasion. So if, like I say, you've got a birthday coming up, or a wedding anniversary coming up, or something like that, and it's to do with you, make a bigger fuss out of it than you'd normally do and invite everybody to a party. And you might just be surprised with what happens. But between, of course, now and the next new moon, we can wallow in self-pity about what happened between now and the last new moon there. But of course, tomorrow's sunrise is the beginning of the rest of your life, Shannon. And a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Remember that. And that's the only advice for now that can be given here. Go well and stay well. For now, Shannon, these cards have spoken.